Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine. Now, with Halloween right around the corner, as in literally tomorrow, I thought I would do something a little different. Now, this is going to be me going through another article, but it has a Halloween theme. Now, I was thinking of something else to do, like review old horror movies through the guise of an SJW. But I thought that could be something done as an actual series of videos. So that's something that I've kind of been kicking around. If you like it, let me know and I'll see about doing it. I'm going to be talking about a wonderful article from the most amazing magazine, Cosmopolitan. Or Cosmo for short. Most of you know what it is. It's a woman's magazine that usually has things like 10 different ways to wow your men in bed. Or, if your man isn't doing these 5 things to you during sex, you need to dump him. Now, Cosmo and I have had kind of a strained relationship. From the age of 13, I used to read it. Unironically, and I enjoyed the articles. Anytime I was in a doctor's office, or a dentist's office, or a waiting room of some sort, it was inevitably right there. So I would pick it up and read through. Now, being at the young, impressionable age of 13, girls became my center world. And since Cosmopolitan was a woman's magazine, which were in essence just older girls, I figured I should read something like this to get into their minds, since I wanted their attention. Now let me tell you, from my extravagant research into Cosmopolitan, there has yet to be a female that I have ever been in illicit affairs with that has ever walked away unhappy. And then Cosmo started getting into the social justice aspect of the world, and I stopped reading. On October 23rd, 2017, this article dropped from Cosmopolitan. Maybe don't dress your kid up as Moana this Halloween. It's on you to teach your kid not to be racially insensitive. Now, I was going to do a dramatic reading of this, but this article is so stupid that it's actually not deserving of it. So I'm just going to go through it. It's mid-October, which means Halloween is just 2 weeks away, which means it's way past time to decide on a Halloween costume for your kid. Chances are you have a child that is enamored with all things Disney and wants to be all of the princesses. All of them. Especially Moana. From personal experience, this is kind of true. More so, it's not necessarily Moana. It's just all of the princesses. The New York Post recently highlighted an article on raceconscious.org, which means that this article is absolutely complete bullshit. But, the New York Post said something about it, so it's important. About how that's probably not a good choice if your kid is white, and revealed that moms are freaking out over the culturally appropriative costume. Now, when they say moms, in quotation, they usually mean 5 out of 50. And those 5 are more important than the 45 that don't have a problem with it. Needless to say, the Post's coverage has only amplified the debate around what does and doesn't constitute cultural appropriation. Last year, Disney came under fire for its Maui costume, which depicted the demigod's painted brown skin. The company ultimately pulled the costume in response to the uproar, telling Entertainment Weekly in a statement that the team behind Moana has taken great care to respect the cultures of the Pacific Islands that inspired the film, and we regret that the Maui costume has offended some. The Maui question may have been settled, but this year there are plenty of tweets out there asking the internet and Lin-Manuel Miranda if it's okay to dress as Moana for Halloween. Disney Studios shows more cultural sensitivity in their little creative finger than most of the people that are upset about a costume. I'm going to read it again, the quote. The team behind Moana has taken great care to respect the cultures of the Pacific Islands that inspired the film, and we regret that the Maui costume has offended some. They've taken great care because they wanted to get it right. They wanted to be culturally respectful. And when they came out with the Maui costume and it showed his painted brown skin, which was a very important part of the character and a very important part of the god himself, demigod, some people got pissed off. Some people got outraged. And those people need to shut the fuck up. Because Disney has taken great strides to be as respectful as possible, to tell this story so that everyone can enjoy it. The original article, written by Sachi Ferris, discusses how her white daughter was torn between dressing as Elsa from Frozen or the titular character from Moana. Ferris expressed concern that while an Elsa costume might reinforce notions of white privilege, dressing up as Moana is essentially cultural appropriation, the act of reducing someone's culture to stereotypes, thereby belittling it. Though Ferris puzzles over how one might wear a Moana costume respectfully, she ultimately decides it just isn't a good idea. Sachi Ferris, listen, you're kind of painting your daughter into a corner here. Your white daughter was torn between dressing as Elsa or dressing as Moana. And since the cultural appropriation of the Moana costume is more offensive to you than the promotion of white privilege, you don't want her to wear Moana. And then at the same time, being a white girl, you don't want her being a white princess. What? What? Fucking what? So what can she be? Now, let's talk about this real quick. Reducing someone's culture to stereotypes and thereby belittling it. If you've seen Moana, there are no stereotypes in Moana. It even pokes fun at itself about Moana being a princess. Moana says she's not. She's a daughter of a chieftain. Maui then says you have an animal companion and you sing. You're therefore a princess. Disney did not stereotype Moana. And thus wearing a Moana costume is not stereotyping the Polynesian culture. Thus it's not cultural appropriation by your own fucking words. I'm only halfway through. I need to calm down. At this point, you might be saying something like, but I dressed up as Jasmine as a child, and I'm not a racist. Or, it's just a Halloween costume. Please chill the fuck out. But one of the best things about time is that it moves forward. You should too. You can and should strive to be better than you were 10, 20, or 30 years ago. If you missed the mark when you were younger, maybe think about using this Halloween as an opportunity to teach your kids about the importance of cultural sensitivity. If your child's dream costume feels questionable, don't just throw your hands up and hand over your credit card. You're the parent here, and the onus of what your child wears falls on you. If your kid wears a racist costume, you're kind of wearing it too. No, you're not. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this fucking works. And that's the problem with you fucking morons. Okay, you have dedicated yourself to being the Halloween fun police. So, let me ask you, what can I wear? Can I still dress up as a pirate? Or am I culturally appropriating actual pirate culture? If I dress up as Jack Sparrow or Barbossa, am I going to piss off the actual pirates that are still living today? The ones that are in the Caribbean that will ransack boats, rape and pillage and steal? Because I'm more worried about pissing them off than some uppity fucking woman named Sachi Ferris because my daughter wants to dress as a princess. Maybe I'm offending pirates. Okay, so let's move on to another big popular one. Ninjas. Can I still be a ninja? I mean, all they're doing is wearing complete black and just has eye slits. I mean, if that's cultural appropriation, Iraq has been doing it for years. Okay, that was in poor taste. But can I still be a ninja? I mean, there were movies made called American Ninja. There were 6 of them. They weren't good, but they were there. We have a show called American Ninja Warrior. I should be able to be a ninja. Okay, that's too much because of the Japanese history behind it. Fine. What if I were green? Ah, even better. What if I was a mutant turtle? Can I then be a ninja mutant turtle? Maybe a teenage mutant ninja turtle. Is that okay? Or am I culturally appropriating from fiction, kin? This is fucking Halloween. The statement, it's just a Halloween costume, please chill the fuck out, is exactly what needs to happen. Time moves forward, yes it does. But Halloween is not the time to teach your child about cultural appropriation, because to a child wearing a Moana costume, it is not culturally insensitive. It's a 5-year-old wearing a costume of a princess. Now, if you want to dress your child up in a very colourful poncho, give them a big black mustache, a 20-gallon sombrero, and then put a string of bullets around them and give them a toy AK-47, alright, that's a little racist. As for you being a representative of your child, no, because the child has no idea that you think they're being racist and culturally insensitive. The fact that you want them wearing something like that and you don't want them wearing Moana or Elsa because of white privilege, that's you. That's you trying to create brownie points and giving yourself optics that aren't needed. You're trying to virtue signal to the rest of your culturally stunted fellow social justice warriors that you are so virtuous that you have restricted your child from having fun in order to teach them a lesson. Recognize this. Moana is a really special character to young girls of Polynesian descent who have never seen a Disney princess who looks like them, just like how Tiana from The Princess and the Frog likely resonated with young black women who have waited decades to see themselves represented. White girls have plenty of princesses to choose from. There's Belle, Ariel, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty. You get the idea. If your Caucasian son or daughter doesn't get to be exactly what they wanted for Halloween, encourage them to take a step back and realize that they're awash in privileges, that the real Moanas and Tianas of the world will never likely see. Because the world is full of racist assholes like your parents who are not letting you do it. You've already stated that not being able to dress like Moana does not in turn allow you to dress like another white princess, because that shows white privilege. You're contradicting yourself here. You're giving a mixed message, and people aren't going to pick up on it. You see, all of these things, all of them, let me be perfectly clear, are fictional characters that don't actually exist in the real world. And if your son or daughter wants to dress as one, by all means, they should be allowed to. Now, this next paragraph is the crux of this entire article. Bear with me, because the mental gymnastics that are about to be performed are legendary. And those assholes are becoming even more empowered. Our president is a hate group apologist who tries to ban refugees from seeking asylum in our country simply because of their faith. Meanwhile, black Americans continue to be killed by police, and anti-Semitic voices feel louder and more powerful than they have in decades. We have reached peak stupidity. It has nothing to do with cultural appropriation. It has nothing to do with white privilege. It has nothing to do with the fact that you're virtue signaling. It has everything to do with President Trump. That's right. This Halloween is the most racist Halloween we have ever had in generations because of El Jefe Trump. Aside from the fact that everything that was stated in that paragraph is complete and utter bullshit, Trump is the reason you can't have fun on Halloween this year. Try explaining that to a 5, 6, or 7-year-old. Please. And videotape it and put it online, because I want to see the reaction of when you break a child's heart and you become the villain of the internet. Now, they try to explain away these mental gymnastics as if it's something that actually means something to everything else. Let's go on. So what does this have to do with a seemingly innocent princess costume? Pretty much everything. It's important to align with and stand up for people of color and minorities, and a key part of that is showing respect to their cultures. You know, like Disney did with Princess and the Frog, Moana, Lilo and Stitch, Mulan. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you seriously fucking kidding me? To pretend to be a racial, ethnic, or religious minority when you're not makes light of their history and reinforces a deeply problematic power dynamic, wherein white people use, then discard, pieces of culture they subjugated for centuries just because they can. Except the United States didn't do that, did they? If they did that, we wouldn't have some of the things that we have. Some of the best Mexican food in the world is in Southern California and Arizona. Some of the best Cajun food is in Louisiana and Mississippi. The best Cuban food is in Florida, because those states have culturally accepted the people. We celebrate cultures. It's fucks like you that think we don't. When we try to, you tell us we're stereotyping, or we're performing blackface, or we're using them as a token minority. You say words, you put them together in a sentence, and you have no idea what they mean. To clarify, no one is telling you to ban your child from belting out Moana songs in your living room. No, but you better not have her dance like Moana, or you better not have her practice karate like Mulan, because it's cultural appropriation, and anyone seeing it is going to dub them a racist. They're good songs. Moana is a powerful, phenomenal Disney heroine who relies on more than just her CGI perfection to save the day. Aha! That's why you don't want young girls dressing as Moana. Because Moana, aside from being a powerful and phenomenal Disney heroine who is headstrong, intelligent, and determined, she's beautiful. She is CGI perfection. And you, as a stereotypical, fat, hairy, smelly feminist, you can't have girls wanting to be perfect. You can't have girls wanting to be skinny, because we must have a fat Disney princess now! But there's no better time than when a kid is in their formative years to teach them that it is not okay to mock other people's cultures. Dressing as Moana or any one of the Disney princesses in particular is not mocking anyone. Dressing up as a bandito is. Dressing up in blackface is. That's the sort of attitude that will ultimately bleed into the way they behave and think as they grow older. Do they respect the personhood of those unlike themselves, or is their only concern doing whatever they think is fun? Don't worry about your children having fun if you do this. They're going to kill themselves long before they get a chance to find out what real fun is. For what it's worth, Fijan Emmeline Mataji suggests using a kid's desire to be Moana or Maui as an opportunity to teach them about actual Polynesian culture. She concedes that she understands why kids would want to dress as Moana, but instead suggests that they make their own outfits, without attempting to recreate designs they think are Polynesian. After all, she writes, my culture is not a costume. Except, you've already stated earlier on in this very article that Disney was culturally respectful, which means the designs on Moana's garb are probably legitimate. The designs of the caricatures of the creatures that were on the pictures are legitimate. A Halloween costume is a small, easy way to introduce these issues in a way that a child's yet-to-be fully brain can process. No, it's not. This isn't about putting a damper on your kid's creativity. No, it's about snuffing it out completely. They have to push the narrative. They can't be susceptible to wrongthink, because if they are, they might actually branch off and be conservatives. It's about exercising sensitivity towards anyone who doesn't get to choose how the world at large sizes them up. No, that's on the onus of the person to have the world see them for who they are. Whether or not your kids get that is up to you. Being a child who has a yet to be fully functioning brain, they're not going to understand it. You are virtue signaling to the people around you. You are trying to show how fucking woke your child is when they go to school and say, I can't wear the Moana costume that I wanted to because mummy said it's cultural appropriation. I wanted to be Elsa, but then that shows my white privilege, so I've decided to be a lump of coal. Oh, wait, I can't be a lump of coal because that's blackface. So I've decided I'm just going to wear the shirt that says, this is my Halloween costume, because that's what this country is going to when we let people like this dictate what is going on in our schools and what is going on with our children. There are already schools who are shutting down their holiday costume celebrations because it's unfair to the students who don't participate in the holiday. The people who don't participate in the holiday don't give a shit! So, like with the last time, Uncle Antoine is going to give you some advice. I'm going to do this in 3 different age categories. We'll go from ages 4 to about 12, and then from 13 to about 18, and then 19 onward. In the first category, there's one simple thing. Here's how you solve the problem of something like this. Let the child wear whatever the fuck they want. They're kids. They don't understand what you're trying to tell them. Even if you spell it out for them, they still won't understand, even at the age of 12, because they still see their friend who happens to be Polynesian or black or Mexican or Asian or Russian or whatever. They see them as their friend. They don't see skin color. And that's how it should be. So let them dress however the fuck they want. Unless it's naked. Don't let them go out naked. That's a bad costume idea. From 13 to about 18, you understand that shit's going down, but you're still a child. You have a fully functioning brain, and you understand that the concepts of racism and things like that. This is where you can start to curb what they can or should wear. The slutty witch costume for a 16-year-old? Not a good idea. The undead Adolf Hitler? Funny, but designated more for an adult. They understand that wearing the Pancho Villa costume is probably a bad idea. You still want to let them wear what they want, but now you can actually talk to them about it. You can actually say, well, this would probably be a bad idea. Let's think of this. From 19 onward, you have no excuse. You know exactly how you feel. You know exactly what's right and wrong. You still are going to wear whatever the fuck you want. So you have a few years in between to help mold your child. I'm not saying dictate to them, but from 13 to 18 you can talk to them. 19 onward, they're adults and they're going to wear whatever the fuck they want. Cosmo, Sachi Ferris, stop trying to download your social justice bullshit into children. You're not helping them. You're indoctrinating them. It's Halloween. Unless you're Irish, you're culturally appropriating it. Those are my thoughts. I would love to know yours. Let me know in the comments. If you like what I do here, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And if you do subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you can get notifications of when I post. Other than that, this has been Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine. Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you have a wonderful evening and a stupendous Halloween.